Hi, so I'm coming to you a little bit different location today because it is pouring rain and it is almost Thanksgiving. So I figured I better do something about my particular holiday purchase for myself in case it was useful to those of you who are looking for gifts. This is from Costco, and it is probably, if we're honest, it is probably the only Roadster that is ever going to drive that has a Tesla badge on it, because I don't think they're actually ever going to build this. There is no evidence to suggest that they will so far. But this is what the box looks like, and I'll show you the actual car here in a minute. But that's what you're looking for. It's at Costco. I ordered it online, which was a whole lot easier because I knew that it would actually show up. And I think it was $5 more than driving to the warehouse, which is not super convenient to me. It's probably about 15-20 minutes away, and it's not a route I typically go. So that's why I just ordered it online. But you can probably find it in your warehouse. It's been in mine for, I don't know, probably a month now. Big pallets of these. They're $65 at my warehouse, and I think I paid $69.95 or whatever to have it shipped to me. Shipping was free. So that convenience was good. Although I will point out that if you're doing it for gift purposes, I don't know if you can see that, a little bit of damage on the box. So what you're going to do, I already have mine out. I will show you that the box is just shiny gray inside, very in keeping with the Tesla aesthetic, and I'll show you the car here next. All right, so here's the actual car. You can maybe get some estimate of how big it is. I'm sure you can find actual dimensions online, and that's what it looks like when it's turned off. I have to think it looks spectacular. The color is maybe similar to Ultra Red that's on the new Model S and X, but I don't know that I'd really call it that. It's not quite SIG either, but it's definitely not just, it's like a candy apple red, I guess. So it happens to look spectacular, I think, and it doesn't have any adornments that can be broken off, but it is a little bit, as they say in Christmas Story, fragile. So I'll explain that in a minute. And I turn it on, and there you go. You got lights. Now to charge the battery, you have to use a screw and pop this door and then plug it into your USB charger, which is a little bit inconvenient, but what you're going to do. This is what the remote looks like. Again, I'm sure you've seen this stuff online. I will point out that the remote wheel and tire are actually smaller than on the car. It looks like a perfect match, but it is not a perfect match. And you can, you know, lots of power. So I'm going to set the car down just for a minute and turn it off so I don't run it off the table, and I'll explain something about this car to you in just a moment. The remote is actually pretty simple. This is trim, right trim, left trim. So you hit this and it's sort of like adjust the front wheel so you can get your alignment correct. And you'll want that because it takes off like you wouldn't believe, and it's on-off switch. And then of course steer, throttle forward, throttle backward. This is forward, backward. Also brake. You can use that as a brake. If you hold it, it'll go the other direction, but if you just nudge it, it works like a brake. It's very controllable. So here's what I want to point out though, and I'm going to turn this off too. All right, so the car looks great, and like I said, it's a toy. I get it, and I'm a man-child for having bought it, but I saw it at Costco first, and I wanted to make sure that my kids didn't buy it for me, and we ended up with a whole fleet. And so that's just me. That's just me being kind of silly and treating myself a little bit. But you'll see a lot of videos of this running around outside, and I'm going to tell you that if you want this to look, you know, good as this one does, which has a few miles on it now, you're probably going to want to keep it inside, unfortunately, which is part of what happens when you get a remote control car that's not hobby grade. It's, you know, a $65 toy. There's not really any suspension here, right? Like, it's not progressive at all. I don't know if you can hear that thumping. I'll do the one by the mic. That's not what we would call a well-damped suspension. Arguably, the only cars with worse suspension are the actual road-going Teslas. I kid. But do remember that my Model S tried to kill me with the broken rear control arm in the other video that you can find here. So anyway, the tires, this is why you want to keep it indoors. I'm going to try and deflect it. Maybe if I do it this way, can you see that? So there's the tread, right? And if you look, I can push it. See how much deflection there is there? That's because it's just empty rubber. There's nothing here. I don't know if you can. Maybe if I use well, I don't really have anything in. But there, can you see that? There is nothing in there. No foam, no air, obviously, not a thing. And in fact, I believe that if you feel around in here, there's like portions of plastic that stick out farther than others, probably for traction. But these tires will absolutely get shredded on anything that's got any kind of abrasion, like concrete or cement. Now, I've run this around my garage, which has a very smooth cement floor. That's why it's a little bit dirty. And I don't think that's caused any damage to the tires. But you take it out on regular blacktop asphalt or concrete, and that abrasiveness is going to shred these tires to absolute oblivion almost immediately. So you might want to resist the urge of going to the store and coming home and just zit, 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 zit all over the neighborhood, because this will look horrific. Now, it's just a toy. Maybe I'm taking this too far, but I think that you should know that it's kind of fragile that way. Same thing. Obviously, there's no actual protection on any of these edges. This bumper is, I mean, that is not going to protect you from scrapes and bumps and bruises when it runs into things. Same thing in the back. If you look, there's kind of this edge here, but it's just inexpensive hard plastic, and it's going to nick and chip and just informed consent. Just know the limitations of the product you're getting. If you want it to look decent on a shelf, you're going to want to probably keep it indoors in more controlled areas, like maybe a garage. Well, you know, if you hit your toolbox, it's going to cause all kinds of damage too. But anyway, there you go. And look at the panel gaps, right? Look at those panel gaps. Oh my gosh, they have finally cracked the code on the panel gaps. Well done, Tesla. Now, when it's turned on, it'll flash the lights until it finds the controller, and then it'll lock in. And it does look spectacular running around with the lights. So let me tell you about the problems running it indoors while we're at it. All right, I'm going to try and drive it slowly into view here. Oh. And it does look spectacular. Does it not look amazing? I mean, really. And I hit the chair already. I think it really looks fantastic. I really do like the way it looks. Oh, let me show you how that trim function works. I don't know if you can see that. Very subtle adjustments to the front wheels to make it go straight. All right, so here's the thing. You can practice your parallel parking all day long, but you give this so much as a slight squeeze, and it is going to burn rubber all across your interior until it smashes into something. It really is just overpowered for indoor use. Gosh, it looks good though. But having said that, if you're kind of goosing the throttle, just little spurts, it's very controllable indoors. You just have to, well, you know, if you're like me, be an adult about it. You bought it as an adult, be an adult about it. If you're going to give it to kids, take them outside and let them shred up the tires and just beat the hell out of it. That's what toys are for. But indoors, you're going to be just kind of giving it little gooses like that to get any kind of control out of it. But you can see I can move it around pretty handily. Let me back up here real quick. All right, and then like I said, you alternate. So to stop it, I hit the throttle forward. Same thing going forward. You put it kind of in reverse to brake it. If you do it too much, it backs up. But I'm trying not to run into all my honey that's sitting here. So it's a fine line, right? But I think it's very controllable. I think you can see that it's doable indoors. You're just gonna have to mind your inputs. So having said that, I've been running mine around the house, just kind of goofing around with it, and I think it's lots of fun. I don't know if you can hear it smashing into things. Oh. But yeah, there you kind of get the idea. It's not super suited for indoor use either. You really want it in a garage, or if you've got a big family room, carpeted especially, that would be perfect. But you know, like most Tesla cars, it's just got a lot of power, which is great for jetting around. But when you do it outside, you're just going to destroy this thing almost instantly. And I want to be able to park it up on a shelf by my desk and look at it when I'm not driving it. So there you go. That is the Tesla Roadster remote control car at Costco. It's $65 if you can find it in the warehouse. It is $69 if you have it shipped free, which is what I did. At least that's the current pricing as of now. And I think you could just have this turned off and just sitting on a shelf, and the paint on it does look fantastic. So something to consider. But and I think I've already, I just now put a mark on it. Well, there you go. That is the nature of things. So you can find reviews of it online that'll take it out and really run it into playgrounds and stuff like that. I'm just telling you that indoors is the only way you're going to preserve it. And that's my gift guide for all you other adults out there that always wanted a cool remote control car. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. See you around.